True confidence begins the moment you decide that your life will no longer be guided by outside pressure, fear, or comparison, but instead by the steady direction of your own deeply held values. Many people spend years chasing approval, trying to measure up to expectations that were never truly theirs, and wondering why success feels empty or fragile. The truth is that confidence cannot be borrowed from applause or built on temporary achievements. It must grow from alignment. When your thoughts, decisions, and behaviors consistently reflect what you genuinely believe is important, something powerful happens inside you. Doubt begins to lose its grip. Second-guessing becomes quieter. You stop asking, "Will they approve?" and start asking, "Does this reflect who I really am?" That shift changes everything. Inspired by the timeless wisdom often associated with Dr. Joseph Murphy, we can understand that the subconscious mind responds strongly to clarity and conviction. When you are unclear about your values, your mind receives mixed signals. One day you pursue security, the next day you chase status, and the day after that you crave freedom. This internal conflict weakens self-trust because your actions pull you in competing directions. However, when you define your core principles, such as honesty, growth, compassion, discipline, creativity, or service, you create a stable internal foundation. Decisions become less emotional and more intentional. Even when challenges arise, you feel grounded because your choices are anchored in something deeper than convenience. Living in alignment does not mean life becomes easy. It means life becomes coherent. You may still face rejection, setbacks, or criticism, but those experiences no longer shake your identity. Instead, they become feedback rather than verdicts. Confidence built on values is steady because it is self-approved. You know why you are doing what you are doing. You understand your direction. You recognize that integrity is more important than immediate comfort. Over time, this practice of value-based action strengthens self-respect. And self-respect is the soil where authentic confidence grows. Each small decision made in alignment, speaking honestly when it would be easier to stay silent, choosing discipline over distraction, standing firm when pressured to compromise, acts like a vote for the person you want to become. The accumulation of these votes builds an inner certainty that cannot be easily shaken. You begin to trust yourself because you have evidence that you show up according to your standards. This is the real compass of confidence. Clarity about what matters, courage to act accordingly, and commitment to remain consistent. When your outer life reflects your inner truth, you no longer feel divided. You feel whole, directed, and strong from within. Once you begin to understand your core values, the next step is learning how to apply them consistently in everyday life, especially when it is inconvenient or uncomfortable. Knowing your values intellectually is not enough. Confidence strengthens only when those values are translated into action. Many people can list qualities they admire, such as honesty, discipline, loyalty, courage, or growth, but when faced with pressure, fear, or temptation, they abandon those principles for short-term relief. This is where self-doubt quietly takes root. Every time you act against what you believe is right, you send a message to yourself that your standards are flexible. Over time, that inconsistency weakens self-trust. However, when you choose to honor your values, even in small situations, you reinforce your identity. Each aligned action becomes proof that you are dependable to yourself. Inspired by the mindset principles associated with Dr. Joseph Murphy, we can appreciate how the subconscious mind absorbs repeated behavior as truth. If you repeatedly demonstrate courage, your mind begins to accept that you are courageous. If you consistently act with integrity, your inner self recognizes you as a person of integrity. This internal recognition is far more powerful than praise from others because it forms the foundation of lasting confidence. To apply your values effectively, you must first define them clearly. Instead of vague ideas like being successful or being good, identify specific principles that guide your decisions. Ask yourself what qualities you respect most in others and what behaviors make you feel proud at the end of the day. Once you identify these principles, use them as filters for decision-making. When facing a difficult choice, pause and ask which option reflects your highest standards. This simple habit creates space between impulse and action, allowing you to respond intentionally rather than react emotionally. Living by your values also requires accepting that not everyone will agree with your path. Alignment sometimes means disappointing others who expect you to conform. Yet authentic confidence grows when you prioritize integrity over approval. You may feel temporary discomfort, but you gain long-term strength. Over time, this practice builds resilience because your sense of worth is no longer tied to external validation. Instead, it is rooted in self-consistency. The more consistently you act in harmony with your beliefs, the more stable your confidence becomes. Challenges still arise, and uncertainty is still part of growth, but you navigate these moments with a steady inner compass. You trust your judgment because it is grounded in clearly defined principles. You move forward with purpose because your actions are intentional. Gradually, confidence transforms from something you try to project into something you genuinely feel. It becomes quiet, steady, and authentic, supported by daily evidence that you live according to what truly matters to you. As your commitment to living in alignment with your values deepens, you begin to notice a profound shift in the way you experience life. Confidence stops being a surface-level performance or an act you put on for others. It becomes a natural byproduct of knowing yourself and standing firmly in your truth. Every decision, no matter how small, carries a sense of purpose because it is filtered through the lens of what you genuinely value. You no longer waste energy trying to be someone you are not or pleasing everyone around you. This freedom allows your mind to focus on meaningful growth and authentic expression. One of the most important aspects of this journey is recognizing that alignment is a continuous practice, not a destination. There will always be moments when fear, doubt, or temptation challenge your integrity, and it is in those moments that your confidence is tested. Choosing to act according to your values, even when it is difficult, reinforces the belief that you can rely on yourself. This self-reliance is the essence of true inner strength. Inspired by the teachings of Dr. Joseph Murphy, we understand that the mind responds to repeated reinforcement. When you act consistently in alignment with your values, your subconscious mind begins to internalize these behaviors as part of your identity. Over time, this creates a powerful feedback loop. Your actions reinforce your self-belief, which in turn makes aligned actions feel more natural and effortless. Another key element of this process is clarity. Confidence thrives on clarity because uncertainty often leads to hesitation and self-doubt. When you clearly know what you stand for, you create a framework for decision-making that removes ambiguity. You no longer feel torn between conflicting desires or pressured by the expectations of others. Instead, you move forward with a sense of certainty and calm purpose. This does not mean you will never feel fear or anxiety. Those emotions are part of being human. However, they no longer control your choices because you have established a strong internal reference point. Living in alignment also strengthens your relationships. When others see that you act with integrity and consistency, you naturally attract trust and respect. Your interactions become more genuine because they are not motivated by fear, need for approval, or manipulation. At the same time, you develop a heightened sense of self-respect. When you honor your principles, you demonstrate to yourself that you are worthy of confidence and trust. This self-respect is what sustains confidence during challenging times. Life inevitably presents obstacles, but when your actions are guided by your inner compass, you navigate challenges with poise and resilience. Decisions feel less like burdens and more like opportunities to affirm who you are and what you value. Ultimately, this alignment between your actions and your core values transforms confidence from something external and conditional into something deeply personal, lasting, and unshakable. By cultivating awareness, practicing integrity, and committing to value-based action, you create a life where confidence is not just a goal, but the natural state of being. This is the quiet, profound power of living in harmony with yourself, a power that resonates through every choice, every action, and every interaction.